You can't avoid an emotional storm. You have to go through it. You have to feel it to heal it. And doing my therapy and gaining my blonde hair, it didn't feel like avoidance. Instead, it kind of felt like finding a rainbow. Welcome to the Dangerous Women podcast, where the intersection of fierceness and femininity fuels empowerment. Our goal is to provide women with insights to unleash their power. Grounded in the 7 principles of self-confidence, we guide women to embrace their duality, delicate as a flower, yet powerful as a bomb. I'm your host, Colleen Conlon, inviting you to join me as we explore topics on health and wellness, empowering you to embody the essence of your dangerous woman. This won't be an episode with anything groundbreaking to share, but recently I dyed my hair. Now, I had very dark brown hair and I decided to dye it blonde. Like not just highlights, but really, really blonde. And I got a lot of questions around it, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. I had a lot of emotional, personal challenges happening last year. And I was at this point where I couldn't look at myself in the mirror or look at myself on social media. Because if I did, I was reminded of memories that I didn't want to face. And I did end up facing them in therapy, but I decided I wanted a clean slate. So I went to my hairdresser, Candice Cooper, and I asked her if she would just chop all of my hair off. And she's somebody who I've actually been getting my hair cut by for almost 10 years. So this is a fun fact. I used to live right outside of Manhattan in Montclair, New Jersey. Candice worked in Montclair, New Jersey, and then she moved out to Arizona. And a few years later, I moved out to Arizona. And it was the best thing ever because the one thing that I hate doing, I hate getting my hair done. I'm fine with needles, I'm fine with going to the dentist, but getting my hair done is something that just gives me agita. So being able to go through this experience with Candice was freaking awesome. So anyways, Candice is very much somebody who is amazing at what she does, and she's into the woo-woo stuff, like the spiritual woo-woo. And she's telling me how our hair is connected to our intuition, and it might not be the best timing to cut it off. So instead, she encourages me to take a different route, and we talk about dyeing my hair blonde. So I thought about it for a while, and a while for me is like a number of months. And meanwhile, while I'm in therapy, I'm asking all of these questions, I'm reading all of these books, and one of the topics that keeps coming up is finding yourself. What would life be like if you could get that toned look? You could have physical superhuman strength by training with just 2 kettlebells at home. What would happen if you were on a program that strengthens self-awareness and courage so that you can develop a deeper connection and trust to self? What about this? What if you could be in a community with other women where you are encouraged to be assertive and resilient to build mental and physical strength? If you're waiting to hear what the offer is, this is it. Swing to Snatch, a 13-week kettlebell intensive, is my signature course that empowers women to get started with kettlebells. Work with me live in a virtual container guaranteed to grant you kettlebell queen status. To learn more, visit www.colleenconlon.com. I really felt like I lost myself. I was struggling to figure out, well, who am I? And not who I am as a business person, but who I am just as a person. I think most people would identify me as a kettlebell coach, a kettlebell queen. I didn't want kettlebell to be tied to who I was. So I'm having a conversation with my therapist, and she explains that if you grow up in an environment where you cannot be your authentic self for whatever reason, and you're being told no when you are doing things that are authentically you, that's when you begin to lose yourself. But before then, we are who we are. It's not like we're going on this mission to figure out who we are. As children, we are who we are. And then based on the environment and our upbringing, we might lose ourselves. So I was doing an EMDR session, and I'm recounting all of these memories. And one of the memories that I had was around my admiration for blonde hair. And growing up, I didn't know anybody that was blonde. I had a couple of like blonde friends, but I wouldn't say there was anyone who really stood out that was blonde. But anyways, as a kid, all of my Halloween costumes, I just wanted to wear a blonde wig. And there was a year where I tried to wear a different blonde wig to school many times, and every time I would get in trouble. I would either have to take the wig off. At one point I got sent home, but I couldn't do this because it was not sanitary. I took this as a sign that maybe it was a part of me to be blonde. So I dyed it, and I remember looking in the mirror and feeling like I was home in my body. I don't know what the full takeaway is here, but let me leave you with this. You can't avoid an emotional storm. You have to go through it. You have to feel it to heal it. And doing my therapy and gaining my blonde hair, it didn't feel like avoidance. Instead, it kind of felt like finding a rainbow. Thank you for listening to the Dangerous Women podcast. If you had any groundbreaking takeaways from today's episode, please tag us on social at the Dangerous Women podcast. To make sure you never miss an episode, subscribe below.